Hello, everyone, and welcome to weekly superhero movie and video game news. Before I begin, I just want to say there's a little bit of organization here. The movie news will be first, and then the video game news will be last at the end of the video. So, those of you who aren't interested in video games, you can jump out at that point if you like. And also, there's a lot more movie news than there is video game news. I have a feeling that's going to be a trend moving forward in this video series. But yeah, without further ado, let's begin. First thing we have here is Spider-Man Homecoming is getting good early reviews. Some say it's the best Spider-Man movie ever made. I don't doubt that. I like all the Spider-Man movies that have been made so far. I'd say The Amazing Spider-Man 2 is my favorite. I know a lot of people don't like that movie, but I thought that movie was great. But I think this one, so far, from what we've seen of Spider-Man and Civil War and the trailers we've seen so far, it looks like it's going to be a good movie. I'm looking forward to it. I'm glad that it's getting good reviews. Next bullet point here is Patty Jenkins confirmed to return for Wonder Woman 2, and it might be set in modern day. I enjoyed Wonder Woman. I thought it was a great movie, so if Patty Jenkins can continue that success, then I'm all for that. And being set in modern day, I think is a good idea, kind of like what Marvel did with Captain America, taken from the past to the present. Kind of makes for some interesting comedy and kind of introducing the character through time, although Captain America, woke up in the future, whereas Wonder Woman, I think, stays alive during that entire time. She doesn't freeze or anything like that. But that will be cool. The first Wonder Woman movie was kind of an origin story, and now that is over, the second Wonder Woman set in modern day can kind of progress the overall storyline of the DC cinematic universe. DC extended universe, and actually have some plot points, and maybe we can get cameos from other characters like Batman or Superman. Next news point, Kevin Feige, or Fiji, I'm not sure how to say his name. He's the boss of the Marvel Studios, I think. He's pretty much the producer on all the MCU movies. Kevin Feige confirmed Spider-Man will not be in the Venom movie, but let's see. Kevin Feige said that Spider-Man will not be in the Venom movie. This is actually something I want to talk about for a little bit. This whole Sony Marvel movies, if you haven't heard, Sony is making two movies right now. They're making a Venom movie, and they're making a Silver and Black movie based on Silver, Sable, and Black Cat. It's kind of weird. At first, they said that they were not part of the MCU, but then there was an interview where Amy Pascal, who is the producer of the Sony films, I believe, she said that they would be, but then they quickly reverted back and said, no, they're actually not part of them. So it's kind of a mess, but it sounds like the Venom and the Silver and Black movies are not part of the MCU. It's pretty confusing, but we'll see how that turns out. A lot of people are pretty negative on the Venom and Silver and Black movies, but I choose to remain optimistic. But Kevin Feige said that Spider-Man will not be in the Venom movie. He said nothing about Silver and Black, but he was just being asked about Venom at the time, so I'm sure he meant both Sony films. But the thing is that he said Spider-Man will not be in the Venom movie, but he said Tom Holland's Spider-Man will not be in the Venom movie. So possibly we'll get a different Spider-Man, or maybe we'll get like a Miles Morales Spider-Man. That's the Black Spider-Man, or maybe we'll get like Spider-Woman or Spider-Gwen or something like that. I think if they made a Venom movie without Spider-Man, a lot of people have a pessimistic view about that, but I think it could be a unique challenge to make a Venom an interesting character in his own right. He has had his own run of the comics where it was just him without Spider-Man, but we'll see how that comes out. I choose to remain optimistic. I'm always up for more superhero movies, and I think Venom's a great character, and I think I remember hearing them say that it would be R-rated. I'm not 100% sure about that, but it'll be interesting to see how that turns out. It'd be kind of cool if they did if Spider-Man was kind of like the Thanos of the Sony Marvel movies, and he was just kind of teased along the way, and then eventually it led to a big Spider-Man reveal. That'd be kind of cool. All right, next bullet point. Quicksilver will be in X-Men Dark Phoenix, the spin-off movie for the X-Men series. No, that's actually the next movie in the main series. Quicksilver will still be played by Evan Peters. He played Quicksilver in the last two movies. Quicksilver was not in the original Dark Phoenix comic, but he was written in due to fan feedback. Everyone loved those Quicksilver scenes from the last two movies. Lamar Johnson will also join the cast. I don't know who he is, and his character has not been revealed, but that was newsworthy. And there's also Dazzler might be in the movie, in the Dark Phoenix movie. Dazzler is an X-Men character. I believe she has singing powers. Whenever you see her, I think she kind of looks like a pop star. I don't really know a whole lot about the character Dazzler, but apparently she will be in the Dark Phoenix movie. I don't know if it's a big role or if it's just a small cameo role. But yeah, Quicksilver was awesome. I really enjoyed him in Apocalypse and Days of Future Past. He was great in both of those movies. So I'm glad that we're going to see more of him, and Evan Peters is great casting for that one. I think everyone kind of agrees that Quicksilver is a little bit better than the Quicksilver in the MCU. However, the Quicksilver in the X-Men movies, I don't like his hair. I don't know. That's like a really fake wig. But I'm looking forward to that. He was a great character. And those moments are always really funny. Next bullet point. Rosario Dawson will be replaced by Alice Braga as Dr. Celia Reyes in the New Mutants X-Men spin-off movie. I don't know who Alice Braga is, but I know Rosario Dawson's a good actress. She's been in a few movies I've seen. I think she was a voice in the Ratchet & Clank movie, which I liked. I don't know who Dr. Celia Reyes is. I think she had... I read up a little bit about this character, and I think she has some sort of superpowers, but I think she's more of like a mentor to the New Mutants. I'm not 100% sure. I don't have a whole lot of information about the X-Men myself. But the movie is going to be a horror movie, which is cool. I'm always interested in a different take on the superhero genre. And if this movie does well as a horror movie, maybe that will open the door for Todd McFarlane's Spawn horror movie that he's been talking about forever. Maybe if this movie does well as a horror movie, then that will interest the studio in saying, hey, let's try the Spawn horror movie. I'd be okay with that. And the movie comes out April 13th, 2018. It is one of 3 X-Men movies coming out in 2018. I'm very much looking forward to that. Next bullet point. Hannibal Buress hired a lookalike to attend the Spider-Man Homecoming premiere. So Hannibal Buress is in the Spider-Man Homecoming film, apparently. I haven't seen him in any of the trailers. Maybe I haven't been looking close enough. But apparently he hired a lookalike to attend the Spider-Man Homecoming premiere as him. And the guy he chose actually doesn't look very much like him. It's just, a black guy with a shaved head. So, that's the only similarities they have. But it's kind of funny they did that. He's a comedian, so I guess it's fitting. Next bullet point here. Josh Brolin posted a picture of himself in early makeup as Cable in Deadpool 2. If you see it, it's just like him, with a bunch of blue shit on his face. I don't know if that means that most of his... face stuff is going to be CG. It probably will be. But the CG's gotten pretty good, and sometimes practical effects can look too cheesy. But that's cool. I'm interested to see how Josh Brolin acts as Cable. I'm interested to see how that turns out. I'm also interested in seeing how they introduce Cable. Are they going to give Cable's backstory and kind of explain how he was born and, how he comes from the future and all that kind of stuff. So that'll be cool. That's going to be one of the most interesting parts of Deadpool 2, outside of obviously getting more Deadpool. That'll be very fun. All right, here we go. Robert Downey Jr. said, quote, "I just want to hang up my jersey before it's embarrassing," end quote. There's no hint on when he will quit being Iron Man, and he is in Spider-Man Homecoming, and he's been confirmed for the next 2 Avengers movies. He also said he would be willing to do one more Iron Man film. So this is just, I guess someone asked Robert Downey Jr. when he would be done playing Iron Man, and he just said, I just want to hang up my jersey before it's embarrassing. I don't think it's ever going to be embarrassing to be Iron Man. He's done such a great job in that role, and I don't see it getting bad. There hasn't really... I wasn't a big fan of Iron Man 3, but it was more because of the plot, not because of Iron Man. But he's done a great job. However, he's been doing that part for a long time, and he's getting a little bit older, so I could see, after the next 2 Avengers, if there's anyone who's going to be leaving the cast, I could probably see him being the most likely option. We'll see how that goes. Let's see, next bullet point. Edgar Wright said he has never seen Ant-Man. He worked on the script for 8 years before leaving the project. He said it would be like watching your ex-girlfriend have sex. So Edgar Wright, he worked on Ant-Man for 8 years apparently, and he left the project. I'm not sure if he was fired or if there was some sort of disagreement between him and Disney. He went and directed Baby Driver after this. I think he took some ideas from his Iron Man film and turned it into Baby Driver. I could be wrong about that. I think I remember reading that on the internet somewhere. But he's never seen Ant-Man, and he said it was like it would be like watching your ex-girlfriend have sex. I think that's a little bit going far. I mean, if he's a fan of the character in Marvel, I think he should just like, you know, I understand being creatively involved in something and then having it taken away from you, and then like I understand it was probably a bad situation, but never seen Ant-Man, that seems a little bit passive aggressive. It's a great film. It's one of my favorite MCU movies. So, but yeah, I saw Baby Driver the other day. It was a pretty good movie. And you know, I think there were definitely some similarities between Baby Driver and Ant-Man. I could see that, but I liked Ant-Man more. Let's see. Wonder Woman is the most successful film ever directed by a woman, which is pretty cool. It's the biggest DCEU film domestic box office, so it's the biggest film in the DCEU domestically. I'm not sure about globally yet. And so far, since it's been released, it's had less box office drop than Batman v Superman. Couple points here. Wonder Woman, most successful film directed by a woman. That's good. I don't know very many films that were directed by women. But yeah, that's cool. I'm glad that the DCEU finally has a movie that everyone agrees is good. I enjoyed Wonder Woman. However, I did like Batman v Superman more. I think I liked it about the same as Man of Steel and Suicide Squad, but Batman v Superman is probably my favorite DCEU movie so far, especially the extended edition. But I want the DCEU to succeed, and if Wonder Woman is the way to do that, then I fully support that, and I enjoyed Wonder Woman a lot, so I'm looking forward to more of that. Next bullet point. Fox sets release dates for 6 Marvel movies. There's 2 in 2019, 3 in 2020, and 1 in 2021. I'm sure that will probably even expand more. We have 3 X-Men movies coming in 2018. Right now there's 2 set for 2019 and 1 in 2021. I'm sure that we're going to see 3 a year, most likely, if they continue to do well. I'm always up for more superhero movies. You know, maybe I'm just hoping we get 3 a year from Fox. But the movies that are possibly rumored to be, they set the release dates, but they didn't say which movies they were. But they're probably Deadpool 3, X-Force. They've been talking about an X-Force movie for a while. The Gambit movie that they've been talking about forever, with what's his name? I can't remember that guy. He was in Magic Mike. He's going to be Gambit. And then possibly a Fantastic Four movie, because there were rumors about a new kid-friendly Fantastic Four or something like that. So that's 4 possibilities right there. We might also get a mainline X-Men movie at that point. But yeah, I'm always up for more superhero movies, and you know, I like the Fantastic Four a lot. I enjoyed all 3 Fantastic Four movies. I'm probably the only person on the planet who liked those movies, but if we get more Fantastic Four, I am 100% okay with that. And more Deadpool, of course, X-Force, and Gambit. Give me more superhero movies. You know, people say there's too many being made. I say we need more. Next bullet point. James Gunn has narrowed his Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack down to 181 songs. So he's picking out songs for Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and right now he has 181 songs to choose from. So that's a lot of songs. I guess there's a lot of music that goes into, or a lot of selection that goes into picking the right music for those movies. You know, I like the soundtrack to the first 2 Guardians of the Galaxy movies. It's not really music I would listen to on my own. I'm more into metal, but for the movies, they were perfect fits. And now, you know, some of those songs are like old pop songs, and when I hear them on the radio now, like at work or something, I recognize them, and it reminds me of Guardians of the Galaxy, so that's pretty cool. Next bullet point here. Deadpool 2 set photos released. If you can go on the internet, if you look up Deadpool 2 on Google or something like that, you'll see some set photos that were released. One was it looks like it's like Deadpool at a crime scene. One of them looks like Deadpool at it, like crashing a children's party. And one of them is just Wade Wilson, like it's Ryan Reynolds in the like burned Wade Wilson makeup, standing in the rain. Yeah, something I noticed about all these pictures, outside of the last one was Wade Wilson standing in the rain. But the first 2, it was the Deadpool mask, but he had casual clothes on. I hope that he's not like that the whole movie. Like, I like the Deadpool costume. You know, the whole uniform is badass. I mean, it's comical for him just to be wearing the mask. But I hope that we're not just seeing him in casual clothes with the mask on for the whole movie. I hope we do get the whole uniform for a significant portion of the movie. And the last movie bullet point I have here is Spider-Man Homecoming sequel will start a few minutes after Avengers 4 ends. Amy Pascal said that. So what she was saying here is as soon as Avengers 4 ends, like Spider-Man Homecoming 2, or whatever the sequel will be called, starts a few minutes after that, which is kind of cool. However, this is coming from Amy Pascal. I don't know how much we can really trust her in what she says because of the mix-up with the Venom movies and the MCU and stuff like that. So whatever she says, I kind of take with a grain of salt. I don't know how much we can trust her, especially how much she knows about the MCU. She's not Kevin Feige. She doesn't know as much as he does. Also, like Avengers 4 was originally, it's an Infinity War, and then there was like Infinity War Part 1 and Part 2, and they decided to get rid of the parts thing. And I think they're doing like Infinity War and Infinity Gauntlet. That second one hasn't been confirmed yet. But is she talking about a few minutes after Avengers 4 or like the second half of Avengers 4? And also I heard that Avengers 4 starts only a few minutes after Spider-Man Homecoming, so it sounds like Spider-Man's very busy in a row. It sounds like he's just going to be going from Homecoming to Avengers to Homecoming 2. It sounds like Spider-Man's going to be a very busy dude. He's going to have a lot to talk about with his friends at school, that's for sure. All right, so the movie news is done. Let's jump into the video game superhero video game news. Let's see. Marvel Heroes is losing the Fantastic Four characters and costumes, including Silver Surfer, but not Doctor Doom, because Doctor Doom is like ingrained into the story of Marvel Heroes. And people are speculating online that the reason why Marvel Heroes lost the rights to the Fantastic Four is because Marvel is trying to devalue the Fantastic Four franchise because they want to get the movie rights back from Fox. Fox has made 3 Fantastic Four movies that I liked, but most people don't like them. So Fox kind of devalued Fantastic Four on their own. And I think Marvel's like Fantastic Four doesn't have a running comic book right now, I believe. And their characters aren't showing up in like Marvel versus Capcom, I believe. So I think Marvel is trying to devalue Fantastic Four, and this is what people have been saying on the internet, just so that Fox doesn't see any interest in making any more Fantastic Four movies, and then those movie rights will revert back to Marvel, and then Marvel can bring back the Fantastic Four in a big way. It's kind of shitty for us as the consumers right now. Like, I want to play as Fantastic Four in Marvel Heroes, but now I can't, so it's kind of a shitty deal, but, even though I like the Fantastic Four movies, we all want, them to go home to Marvel. I think even though the X-Men movies are good and the Deadpool movie was great, and I'm sure that Deadpool 2 is going to be great, we all just want the Marvel characters to go back home to Marvel. I think that's all what we want. I think that's the best idea. But, this is what Marvel's doing. And it sucks for the moment, but I'm sure it will pay off in the end. Let's be optimistic about it. Also, Marvel Heroes has officially launched on consoles, I believe, June 30th. It was in open beta on PS4, and I don't think it was in beta at all on Xbox, but if you have a PS4 or Xbox One now, you can play Marvel Heroes. It's a free-to-play game, kind of like Ultimate Alliance. I haven't spent a whole lot of time with it yet. I'm going to jump into it soon. I'm very excited for it. Like I said, it's a free-to-play game. I think you pay for the characters. But yeah, cool. Marvel Heroes. Let's hope it's good. Mike Jones, Mike Jones, who is the Marvel Games executive producer, said Spider-Man on PS4 was influenced by the Batman Arkham games. He praised the Batman Arkham games for their story and gameplay, and he also teased a potential Defenders game. And he talked about a video game shared universe. He said it isn't the primary goal, but it is a possibility. There's a couple things to talk about here. Let's see here. So Spider-Man PS4 was influenced by the Batman Arkham games. I actually just beat Batman Arkham Asylum. It's the first Batman Arkham game I've played. It was fantastic. I loved it from beginning to end. I'm sad that I waited so long to play those games, but I have City and Night as well, so I'm excited to play those ones as well. I don't have Origins because that one hasn't been released on PS4. But I really enjoyed Arkham Asylum, and if Spider-Man is anything like that, I'm looking forward to it. I hope Spider-Man feels not as heavy as Batman does. Batman feels very bulky and heavy, and Spider-Man is more of a lean, you know, like jumping around kind of person. um, so yes, Spider-Man PS4 was influenced by the Batman Arkham games. Also, he teased a potential Defenders game. That's cool. I don't know a whole lot about the Defenders, but it seems like that was kind of a slip of the tongue. Like we know there's an Avengers game coming from Square Enix. We know about the Guardians of the Galaxy game for Telltale and the Spider-Man game, but no one has officially announced a Defenders game, and so he kind of mentioned Defenders in the interview. So that could have been a leak a little bit. A Defenders game would be cool. Like I say, I don't know a whole lot about the Defenders, but I'd be up for that. And he also said something about the video game shared universe. I love the MCU, I love the DCEU, I love the X-Men cinematic universe. I don't know if it will work in video games, to be honest, because video games, it takes so long to develop them, and also video games, are challenging for some people, and if you can't beat a video game, then you don't get that part of the story, and then you miss out on the part of the cinematic universe. So I don't know if a shared universe would work for video games, but if they do that, that's something that's never been done in video games before, and if they do it well and pull it off successfully, then that could be cool. I don't get my hopes up for that. Next piece of news here is Injustice 2 got a new patch update that fixes some bugs and tweaked Red Hood, who was released as DLC in June. So I guess it patched Red Hood to be a little bit more balanced, and that's the most recent DLC character. He came out in June. Also, Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat is releasing for Injustice 2 as DLC on July 11th. I'm not sure how much those characters cost individually. I got the season pass of the game to get all the characters, but look forward to that. Sub-Zero is a cool character. Injustice 1 had Scorpion from Mortal Kombat in it, so it'll be cool to play as Sub-Zero against the DC characters now. And the last piece of news I have here today says free Spider-Man Homecoming VR experience out now on PlayStation 4, Vive, and Oculus. So if you have any of the VR systems, you can play the free Spider-Man Homecoming VR experience. I haven't looked into it myself. I don't have any VR devices, but that's cool that it's free. Maybe it's like, that's cool promotion for the movie. But yeah, that's all the news for the day. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Please share this video with your friends. And please like the video and leave a comment letting me know what you think of the video or of any of the news from the week. I will be happy to respond. And yeah, I'll see you next week.